Oh, can you guys all see and hear me? Oh wow, there's actually a lot of people in the chat right now. Hey everybody, hopefully this is working because things are all messy things are all messy on my end right now. Let's see. So I was just wanting to stream a little bit because yeah, I've been trying different stuff and I thought I would just talk to everybody who wants to comment tonight while I prepare tomorrow's video. Hello everybody. Faye is here, I'll go get Faye, one sec. Kitty, come here. This is Faye. So I always take off her collar when I start recording because it's so loud. Are you in Utah? Yes, I live in Utah. Alright, there's a lot of people in the chat. Alright, so I think that the like scheduled event thing on my channel is broken, so I'll just delete that. But here, I'll try and get a better view of the cat right here. So I'm curious, how many other Reddit channels do you guys all watch? Because like, I don't usually pay that much attention to the other channels out there. I'm just, I just kind of do my own thing, and I try not to get distracted by how well other people are doing. Okay, Faye. Me and r slash and Illuminati. Alright, that's cool. Yeah. Sorry I'm a little like scatterbrained and not really sure what I'm doing. This is a first for me. So I'm just going to be preparing for tomorrow's video. So what did you guys all watch the horror streams, like the scary stories? Maybe I can play guitar. Yeah, I don't know. You guys don't need. I don't know that you really want to see me play guitar. I'm not that great. Wow, we got a lot of people. It's nice to see everybody here. Yeah, so I've been doing these stories for about 6 months now. Yeah, a lot has gone about, a lot has changed since I got started. I'm trying different things. Right now, I'm like looking into just doing the funny stories for like most of the days of the week, and then doing the horror stories on weekends. And like I've mentioned this before, but you know, whenever you try and change your content while you are like trying to do different types of content while on the same channel, it doesn't really like to promote that type of content. So it's like most of my viewers are here to listen to, like comedy stories and entitled people stories. So like when I put out a horror related channel, then YouTube's just like, what is this? I don't think anyone really wants to watch this. So it doesn't recommend it to nearly as many people. And then of course a lot of people also just aren't interested, which is fine. So I've considered just yeah, I've considered just starting another channel for it. Yeah, Tales from Tech Support, I've done that. Ooh, thank you to Stephanie Reeves. That's the first super chat I've ever gotten. Let me see if I can delete this event thing. Yeah, YouTube's kind of weird when it does these live streams because like I set up the event so it was like, all right, it will plan. I can plan for it to go live. Okay, well, it seems to be working out fine now. Who is your favorite metal or rock band? That changes quite a bit. I would say that overall, one of my most listened to metal bands would be like Opeth. Right now, I listen to a lot of Archspire. Here, let me just look through my. I'll just name off a bunch of bands that I listen to quite a bit. This one like Swiss band called Bach 13. It's like this underground like punky electronic band. I've been a huge fan for them for a long time. It's just spelled Bakxii, so like Bach 13. I don't really know how they pronounce that, but yeah, they're pretty awesome. I would highly recommend checking them out. And there's like Between the Buried and Me, Cattle Decapitation, The Contortionist, Cynic, Deftones, Demon Hunter, Dragon Force, Dream Theater, Eiffel 65, The Faceless. Yeah, I mean, I've got like this big flag for The Faceless back here. Fail Emotions. Seether, I've listened to Seether a little bit. Do I have a Facebook? So I've never really announced this at all, but I have made my Facebook private enough that I'm okay with people going onto it and just hitting the follow button. I'm not gonna say you have to. Like, if you're interested, you can go onto my Facebook and just hit follow. But I don't really post a ton of stuff. But that's, if you're like looking to private message me or something, that would be fine. Let's see. I'm gonna go through all the questions that I see here in the chat. Okay. So I kept seeing, what are my thoughts on medical and legal marijuana? I don't really care either way. I don't smoke. I know plenty of stoners who smoke a lot. And I kind of just stay away from the whole topic, honestly, because I'm just like, I'm sure it has its benefits, but it really just doesn't affect me much at all. Are you a Ute fan? I mean, I don't really have any reason to root for, like, I'm not into sports that much, so I'm not, like, particularly fond of any place, and really. Where do I add my scary stories? I'm not sure. I haven't really gotten that deep into, like, doing scary stories. Like, I kind of want to do, like, one scary story video every weekend. And, that way I can sort of switch it up a little bit. Because, like, doing these entitled people stories every single day, like, it can get a little old and repetitive. That's why I'm always switching it up, putting the Ask Reddit stuff in there. Maybe even if it's just like at the end of the video. All right. Yeah, we got quite a few people. Do I enjoy Pink Floyd? Yes. Pink Floyd was one of my favorite bands when I was like 15. Like that's kind of what got me into like progressive rock. What area of Utah? I live around Salt Lake City. I'm wondering if any of you guys live around Salt Lake City. Um, I'm working. I've recently got like a part-time job, just working at like a haunted house. So there's a place around here called Fear Factory. It's a pretty cool, just like Halloween themed haunted house people walk through. And so yeah, I just got like a customer service based job there, but it gets me out of the house since, you know, I spend so much time just sitting here working. Are you gay? I am not gay. uh, how are you? How am I? I mean, I'm fine. So I have a project that I've been working on with a couple of other guys for a long time. I won't really say what it is quite yet. It should be going up any day now. I'm just waiting for the other guys to finish their parts on it, and then we can finally do this big reveal. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the channel Nerd City on YouTube. He's pretty good. He makes some of the highest quality stuff I've ever seen on YouTube. Nerd City is one of the guys that I'm working with on this big project, and yep, I'm just waiting on him to finish his big video, but of course he puts a lot of effort into his videos, so it takes a while. One of my favorite YouTubers. You know, I spend a lot of time on YouTube. Um, like, I watch PewDiePie a lot. Well, I don't really watch him much anymore. I liked it better when he was just doing, like, commentary and meme stuff. Um, Now that he just plays Minecraft, I'm not that interested. Let me just look at a list of subscriptions I have on YouTube. Okay. So yeah, I really like PewDiePie, Nerd City, like I said, the Stradman. So there's a YouTuber called the Stradman. He actually lives not too far from me. He does like car vlogs where he owns a Lamborghini. He drives around town. He does a lot of cool stuff. Um, I really like Willany and Memulus. They're some of my favorites. And then a bunch of Guitar Hero channels like Randy, Ladyman, and Asai. And I really like iDubbbz. Mr. Beast is okay. I like Donkey. I like JonTron. Drew Gooden's pretty cool. Emp Lemon. The Hoax Hotel. He's really funny. Yeah, those are just a few channels that I really like. You know, it's pretty interesting. Like when you become more of a when you become more of like a bigger YouTuber, you kind of feel like you have more. I mean, I don't really want to say authority, but you feel like you're able to just reach out to these bigger YouTubers easier. But anyways, enough for the YouTubers questions. Do I believe in ghosts? Yes, and like, I mean, it's such a complicated question. I usually say, like, when it comes to paranormal things, to think, or I should say, to not believe in anything paranormal is to believe that we know everything there is to know about the world. And I just think that there's a lot more complications than we can really imagine. What's my favorite horror movie? I've seen a lot of horror movies. In fact, I'll just link a list of every movie, every horror movie I've ever watched. I made a list of them called horror/Halloween movies I've seen. Here, I'll post that in the chat right now. It's kind of hard to pick a favorite since I've seen so many. I really like the Purge movies. I like the Collection. I like Grave Encounters. I like Saw and The Mist and Cloverfield. Those are some of my favorites. Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's kind of a silly movie. I think I only watched it once. Do music reaction videos? I don't know, like I don't think people are interested enough in me to like just want to see my reaction on things. I think that people who just react to channels are like it doesn't have a lot of substance to it. Do I think the earth is flat? I actually was watching a bunch of videos of people like debunking flat earthers. I mean, I'm not gonna say I believe it at all, but it is kind of a fun thing to speculate about. I think the reason people are so interested in disproving flat earthers is because it's such an easy argument to win. And, people enjoy arguing when they're confident in their stance, and it's one of those things that it's not that hard of an argument to win. What is my opinion? What's my opinion on loot crates? The only game I really play with loot crates is Overwatch, and I'm fine with them in Overwatch since you can just earn them by playing. But I hear there's games where you like literally just have to pay for everything in the game, and I think that that's just kind of ruining the whole gaming industry. Do I play Minecraft? Nope, I have never played Minecraft in my life, actually. Yeah, sorry my voice is like kind of going out. Yeah. So I'm sure some of you have gotten a little bit annoyed that I'd have like way too many YouTube channels. Believe me, I'm just as annoyed as everybody else. So as far as YouTube channels go, early last year I started my first real YouTube channel, which was my Guitar Hero channel, which because I've been playing Guitar Hero forever. I've gotten really good at it, so I started the channel so I could teach lessons on how to be good at Guitar Hero. And so that's called GH Andrew. But of course that's such like a niche channel, and it doesn't really draw in that many viewers. So then I started another channel called The Shadower, which was really like something I thought would be really fun. The Shadower was me just being like, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. Um, I see all these jobs out there, and they all look cool, but I don't know anything about them. So it's hard when people say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" But you're like, I don't know what all jobs are out there. So that's why I decided to create a channel where I just went around and job shadowed people, see what every job is like, and it was pretty cool for a while until I had really exhausted every single person I knew. And it's just like I talked to literally almost every person I know, and was just like, "Can I come to your job and make a video for YouTube?" And like 90% of them were just like, "Nah, my job wouldn't allow that," or something like that. But like a few of them let me come, and I made some pretty cool videos. But and then like maybe 3 or 4 of my videos were just of strangers that I didn't know, and those were cool too. But then it just reached a point where I was like, I just don't have anybody else I really know personally well enough that I could go to their job. And then I actually had another channel, which I've never talked about on this, but it was my first really big channel. I actually reached 2,000 subscribers on that one, but I ended up privating every video on that one, and I use that for a testing channel now. And then I had the idea for this channel, which, I mean, the idea for that changed a few times before it made it to like telling stories. But yeah, like I just noticed like r slash. I was just browsing YouTube and I saw this video from r slash, and it was just, it had so many views, and he like just barely started the channel, and he was just exploding in popularity. And then I looked at like a bunch of different channels that were all doing the exact same thing as him. They all started at the same time, doing the same kind of content, and they were all just getting like tens of thousands of subs like out of nowhere. And I was like, dang, that looks like really easy content to make. Maybe I could try doing something like that. So I did, and I was uploading for about a month before I started getting any traction. And then it literally just skyrocketed one day. It was crazy. I went from getting like 200 or 300 views a day to then the next day I got like 17,000 views in one day, and then it just kept going up from there. And for a few months it was doing great. I was making lots of money. I was getting tons of views. I thought it would last forever, but it only lasted about 2 months, and then it really started to take a nosedive. Oh, thanks for the 199, CM Woodbury. I love your channel. Alright, sorry, I take a long time to answer some of these questions, so I'll go through and answer a bunch of these other ones. Sorry, I'm reading all the chat. Don't worry, guys. How old is Faye now? I think she's like 6.5. I got her 2.5 years ago, so she was 4 when I first got her. How tall am I? I'm like 5'10 or 5'11, but I'm super skinny. I weigh like 125 pounds. Okay, more questions. Boy needs to eat beef and hit the gym. Yeah, I get that a lot. People always tell me I need to eat more, but I'm just like, I like being skinny. I'm pretty lanky. How old am I? I am 25 years old. Yeah, so like I did my whole Q&A video, or like my Ask Me Anything video for my 25th birthday, and that was pretty cool, because, I feel like a lot of YouTubers are so focused on just, putting on a show for their audience, not showing much of their personal side, and, just, I mean, it's more professional to do it that way, I think, but it's pretty good when you can like connect with your audience a little bit more. And which is why I wanted to do something like this. I'm not very good at like responding to comments on like on the YouTube videos, so I think it's better when I just do more event stuff like this. I mean, if people are interested, I wouldn't mind doing one of these like every Sunday. Do I ever worry about revealing too much? Not particularly. I mean, when it comes to the internet, sure, I've had a few million views, but very few of those are even like in my area. I mean, maybe if I was getting like tens of millions of views a month, I might start to get a little bit worried that people would like come find my house or something. I mean, technically, if somebody was really dedicated and they looked through every one of my videos on every one of my channels, they could probably find where I live. But like I said, I just don't think anyone's that crazy. But, after reading all the stories that I've read, I guess I shouldn't be too confident about that. Were you worried about me when I got my sunburn? Man, so was I. I was outside in the sun for like 4 hours straight. There was like no shade on this hike. There was no clouds, no trees. It was just wide open fields. And it got really hot. I seriously almost passed out towards the end. I got to the bottom. I filled up a water bottle. There's a drinking fountain there. I just dumped it all over my head. Were you ever in a band? No. I mean, people have invited me to be in bands before. But I'm just like, I like playing the instruments. I like having fun just doing that. I've tried having like jam sessions, like inviting other people over to play instruments. It usually doesn't go very well. It's like people come over, like I know a few songs, they know a few songs, but it's never the same songs. So one of us is gonna have to sight read something. What's my favorite comfort food? Uh, You know, I don't eat that much. I eat a lot of where I just finished them. I eat a lot of chili cheese Fritos dip with the cheese dip. I've gone through like 30 bags of that in the last year. What's the worst thing that happened to me? Huh, that's a more intense question. I mean, I would say that I've kind of been through a lot in the last 10 years. I mean, I graduated high school. I didn't really know where I was going. And ever since then, it's just like moving from place to place. Right now, I've been in my current place for 3 years, which is the longest I've ever lived anywhere since I was growing up. And it's feeling a little weird. I almost feel like it's time to move somewhere again. But yeah, I've lived in some pretty rough areas once. Like, I once lived in this house. It was like my uncle was renting it out, and I kind of got talked into sharing this like old. It was kind of a beat up old house. And I moved in, and I ended up living in this attic. There was no stairs that went up to it, so I literally had a ladder that I had to climb up this. Yeah, I had to climb up into the attic where I had my bed and my computer, which getting my computer up there was a real challenge. And even the window, like there was a window up there, but there was no glass in it, so it was just an open hole. So it got really cold in there, and then like we had a dog for a while, but then they started remodeling, so we had to like get rid of the dog, and then the whole place was getting redone, which made it unlivable. And then rats started showing up, and they were eating all my food, so I had like no food, and it was freezing, and I was basically broke. I was working as a janitor. Like it was a pretty low point, but at the same time, it was a lot of fun because it was really the first time I ever felt like I was free and not like I was living under somebody. Because like living with your parents or something, you always feel like you're restricted on in some ways. Okay, why did I decide to stream today? Because I just wanted to hang out and talk to the viewers, and because I wasn't doing a video today, this is kind of like a replacement for a video. What's your take on instant noodles and ramen? I don't know. I cook ramen like at least a couple times a week, but like on the stove. I never do the instant ones. What movie scared me the most? Probably Grave Encounters. Grave Encounters is pretty creepy. I've seen it a bunch of times now, so it's not quite as scary to me, but I remember just being pretty terrified. But that's like being as scared as an adult. But when I was a kid, like, it's kind of funny because I'm scared of almost like nothing anymore. Like, scary movies don't do anything. I go to haunted houses, they don't do anything for me. Sometimes scary video games can kind of get to me, but like, when I was a kid, I could not watch a scary movie at all. I saw this movie when I was 8 years old. It was called Darkness Falls. And it was this movie about how this like, I think it was like the Tooth Fairy, but it was like this demonic creature that would kill anything that would go into the dark. And so like, you better believe I slept with the lights on for like a week after that. I was terrified after that. Bruh, how many screens? Are you asking how many monitors or TVs I have in here? I only have 4 TVs in my room right now. I used to have 6, but I got rid of some. Fast metabolism or just don't eat much? I think it's both. I mean, even in times of my life where I did eat a lot, I didn't get that fat. I've been pretty much the same size. I mean, my gut might get a little bigger or smaller, but yeah, I don't grow very much. But even still, I eat like maybe 2 meals a day at most. Is your glass half full or half empty? I just think the glass is twice as big as it needs to be, honestly. Where's the kitty? Where's Faye? Well, she was on my lap for a little bit. She jumped down. Now she's splooting on the floor. Here, I'll turn the camera for you guys a little bit. I'll give you a little bit a little bit of a view of the room. So yeah, you've seen the room a little bit. There's my guitars and my drum set, and there's my cat. She likes to just lounge around on the floor. She's always looking for new places to lay around. But yeah, it's kind of funny. Like I was saying in a video the other day, she can be very unpredictable. I mean, I try to get a good video of her every single day. Sometimes all I can really get is her just laying around, or maybe I have to poke her to get her to do something. But if I could record everything she's ever done, Like there would be so many more like hilarious videos I could make of her. Like sometimes Faye will just get into that mood where she is just going nuts. She'll get these crazy wide eyes and she'll just like sprint halfway across the house. And then she'll like jump up on the bed and then she'll sprint into the other room and jump on the other bed. And yeah, she just gets all over the place for like seemingly no reason. I like don't even know how to control her. Also, sometimes it's getting like really late at night, and she's like really whining at me, and she runs and jumps on my bed and is whining because she wants me to go lay down and cuddle with her on my bed. So yeah, she's a very affectionate kitty. have I have I ever given her catnip? Yeah, I give her catnip. I I have a whole bunch of it for her, but I mean she likes to eat it, but I don't think it does anything to her. She just chews it up and then it was just like a snack for her. Doesn't make her go crazy or anything. What part of the country am I from? Salt Lake City, Utah. What's your go-to on Netflix? Um, I haven't had Netflix for a long time. I I I watch so much stuff on YouTube that I don't feel like I need to pay for anything else. I used to watch Netflix. Well, I watched it when I would watch like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia or Malcolm in the Middle, but those shows aren't even on Netflix anymore, so that's part of the reason I canceled. Um, the best thing that I know is still on Netflix is this TV show called The Increasingly Poor Decisions of Todd Margaret. If you guys have seen like Arrested Development, you know the two characters, Tobias and Job. It's basically a TV show just about those two, because it's David Cross and Will Arnett, and they basically just have their own show, and it's just insanely awkward and and just so cringeworthy. But it's like the funniest show I've ever seen. But I've already watched it like I've seen the whole series like a good 20 times by now. Okay, what else? When Faye gets hyper, does she ever do laps around the house? Yes, she does. She also climbs into the ceiling sometimes. She's pretty crazy. Don't don't binge watch all of Nightmare on Elm Street and Child's Play in one day. Um, so a couple of years back, this was 2 years ago, I think. I was working the graveyard security shift job, the security graveyard shift. That's right. So I was staying up all night. I would go into work at maybe like 8 or 9 p.m. and I would work all the way until 7 or 8 in the morning. And the job was mostly pretty laid back. I would just be sitting in a room by myself on a computer. I had, for a while, I had 6 monitors, but it was later dropped down to only 3 monitors. But I could multitask pretty easy. The job wasn't didn't take that much focus from me, so I could do whatever I wanted on the other screens. And I so like I said, 2 years ago, from mid-September to Halloween, I just decided to watch as many horror movies as I could. And since I was working this job, not doing much the whole night, I could just binge watch movie after movie, like 5 movies a day. Um, so in the 45 to 50 days leading up to Halloween, I watched 150 horror movies. So average of 3 per day for a month and a half. And I gotta say, I knocked out pretty much a lot of stuff. If you scroll up the chat, you'll see the link I posted. That's a list of every scary movie I've seen. So about 150 of those were all in that short time period. And ever since then, I've kind of just been like taking a break. Because like when you see so many of them, they stop being scary. They and they all blend together. So like most of the movies I watched during that time, I really couldn't tell you anything about them because I just saw way too many of them all at once. Okay. My friend had a cat that jumped on her leg every time she walked through the house at night. Has Faye ever done that to you? No, Faye has better eyesight in the dark than I do. I accidentally stepped on her tail once at night. I felt pretty bad because she yelped and then she went and hid under the bed in the other room. Does Faye tap dance on my face? uh, Man, like when I wake up in the morning, Faye just really does not like it when I lay in bed for too long. It's like, I'll just be like laying there in bed, and then she'll come and lay right on top of me. She'll like put her paw right here on my face, and she'll she'll rub her nose all over my face, getting hair up in my nose, making me sneeze. Yeah, she'll do that pretty much till I get out of bed in the morning. What country do I dream of vacationing in? Probably. Uh, like, I'm mostly just interested in a lot of nature and geography kind of stuff. So, like, I want to see awesome mountain ranges and big cliffs and, just really cool stuff like that. Maybe storms. So, like, I'd love to go storm chasing. I'd love to go to, like, New Zealand and see like, all their Lord of the Rings mountains. It would be really cool to see a lot of mountains over in China or caves, stuff like that. Um, but yeah, as far as like traveling to cities, I've never really found it that interesting to go to like Europe or something. Like, I mean, as far as I see it, I mean, I've seen that there are some pretty cool like mountain ranges in Europe, but I'm not interested in going to like major cities. I have no interest in seeing like Paris or London or stuff like that. Like big cities just aren't that interesting to me. Has your cat ever casually reflected off a wall? I'm not really sure what that means, honestly. How do I feel about other pets? Uh, they're fine. Like little reptiles and rodents. I think they would get kind of boring. Just put them in a cage and then maybe pull them out just to show people. Alright, one sec, guys. The cat is whining. I can hear her standing on the sink. I just gotta go turn the sink on her. I gotta turn the sink on so she can get a drink because she refuses to drink out of her fountain. Man, the other night, Faye actually, she begged me to turn on the sink like 5 times in one night. I don't understand what her deal is. Like, sometimes she's fine just drinking out of her fountain. And other times, she needs me to turn on the sink over and over again. Faye is such a princess. That's very true. I don't think she's ever, like, jumped off the wall. She likes to jump up and off the bed and run under the bed and hide wherever she can. Man, you guys are keeping me busy. Lots of questions for today. But yeah, I'm pretty soon I'm gonna be preparing for my video tomorrow. So like, I guess I'll tell you what my usual schedule is. Um, so when it comes to making these videos, so the videos that go up every day, I can usually make them in about 2 to 3 hours, maybe sometimes 4 hours if it's going slow. So like, all of the steps it takes for me to make a video is like, all right, step one is to go onto Reddit. I mean, once I go onto Reddit, that means I'm getting started. I'll look at whatever's on top. Like sometimes it's all just presented right to me, right on top. There's usually like an entitled parent story right at the top, and then a malicious compliance story right under that. And I usually have to like really figure out how long I want to make the video. So like if I see a super long story in one spot, then I'll try and find shorter ones for the other stories. That way I don't have like a 30-minute video. And also I try and put like a medium-sized one as the first story, and then the longest one is usually the last story. And then, the shorter ones are like 2 and 4, and so on. Hold on, gotta turn the sink off. Faye, you getting crazy? uh, Faye is bugging me to play with her. So yeah, I go through Reddit and I screen cap a lot of the stories. It's really obnoxious when the stories are like too long that I can't screen cap it all in one page, which is why some stories you'll see will be in like multiple parts. Um, and then it's like when I put it on the screen, I'll scale it up really big so that the text is readable. And if it can all fit on one screen, then I crop it, and that's why you can see it. You'll see the top part, and then it will just like reveal the rest of it throughout the story. But if it's too long, I'll just have the whole story scroll up, which is pretty typical. But so, anyways, I look through all the stories. I screen cap a bunch. Lately, I've been just starting with Ask Reddit. So I go on to Ask Reddit, and I'll look for a good question that has a lot of stories attached to it. I don't know if you guys have been on to Ask Reddit much, but most of it is not very good for these videos, honestly. Like, let me just look and see what's on top. It's like, there's a lot of opinion questions or hypothetical questions. It's like, what would you do? Or like, what is your favorite thing of this? Or what do you hate of that? Or, questions like that. They don't make for good commentary. Usually I look for the ones that's like, what is your story related to this event? Or like, have you ever had to do this? Um, so yeah, it can be kind of hard to find a story, but like, let's say I go on to Ask Reddit and there's a good thread with a ton of responses, then I'll usually just start there, and depending on how long I can make the question portion, that will determine how long I want the stories to be. So like if I can barely find any good question stuff, then I'll just make it really short, and I usually just do that part first, and then I'll put the rest of the time into the stories. So yeah, once I have everything screen capped, I just have like images of these stories saved onto my computer. So then I pull out my camera, which is this camera. I'm using the microphone for this to live stream, but I'm using a webcam to record for it. So this is kind of a weird setup. I've never done this before. But yeah, I'll set my camera right here, and I'll just go through reading all of it, comment in between the stories. The final product you guys see is usually between 15 and 20 minutes, like usually around 17 or 18 minutes, I would say. But when I record them, they're anywhere between 30 and 50 minutes because I'm stuttering over sentences. Like, to you guys, it sounds like I'm reading these stories out really well. Like, I don't make any mistakes. I just read it perfectly and clean. But like when I'm reading through, like when I'm trying to record stuff, sometimes I have to repeat a sentence like 10 times because I'm just like, I keep messing it up, or the grammar is bad, or things are spelled weird. If people like don't put any periods or commas in a sentence, I'm just like, how am I supposed to read this? This doesn't sound right. So anyways, like I said, I record for 30 to 50 minutes, maybe 45 usually. And then I plug the camera into the computer, transfer all of the video files into the computer, and then I put it into Premiere Pro, which is Adobe Premiere is the video editing software I use. And then I just lay out all of the videos, as well as like whatever cat video I have for the day. I stick that on the end. And then I just listen to the whole thing, and I cut out all of the parts that I stuttered, any parts that I repeated things or messed up, trying to space it together. Maybe I paused for a long time. Like, that's another thing. Sometimes in the videos it will make it look like I just had a witty comment ready to go, but sometimes I'll finish reading a story and I'll just sit here silently for like 2 or 3 minutes, just like thinking of something to say. And there have even been times where I'm just like, I don't have a comment for this story, so I'm just going to just delete the whole story out completely because I'm like, I have nothing to say to this. So yeah, that can be one of the most time-consuming things, is just listening over the entire process, listening to all of the footage that I've recorded, and then yeah, so then once I have all of the chopped up and perfect audio, then I go through and I just delete the video portion of me reading the parts. So then I only have the parts of me commenting. And then I put in my background video, with the logo that bounces around the screen. I've been using the same file for that for pretty much forever. So I throw that in starting at any random point, so it's not the exact same every day. Um, and then yeah, I throw in the screenshots of the stories, and then make it so that they show up on screen as I'm reading them. Make sure that they don't go too fast or too slow. That can be kind of tricky depending on the stories. And then I throw in a music. I mean, I gotta say, music is probably my weakest point. I reuse like the same 2 or 3 songs for all my videos. I really need to find some different songs, but it's kind of hard to find like good background music that's not copyrighted and doesn't get annoying when you have to hear it forever. I mean, let's be honest, most of us are probably sick of the music I have in my videos, but it's better than having it be silent for the whole video. I've tried listening to it like that and I just hate it. So yeah, once I'm done with all of the editing, I've gotten it look right, I've got any like jump cuts or zoom ins or stuff like that, then I can finally export it or render the video. Which rendering it on I have a really nice computer now, so it takes maybe 10 minutes to render. And while that is happening, I'm looking through all of the stories I just read, and that is when I decide what I'm going to do for like a title and thumbnail for it. So basically when I come up with a title and thumbnail, I have to find one of the stories that has like usually like a really catchy line in it, and then put that in the thumbnail while I search on Google Images for like angry woman or upset lady, or if you Google image like angry woman, you'll see a lot of my thumbnail people on there, because I I don't know where else to pull stuff like that. So I've pretty much used up a lot of the angry woman or angry lady or just any variation you can think of for all my thumbnails. Um, so yeah. Anyways, then I open up Photoshop. Once the video's done rendering, I open up Photoshop and I throw together a thumbnail. The thumbnail usually only takes me a few minutes. Some take me longer than others, but I upload the video onto YouTube at the same time. And since I have super fast internet, it happens almost instantly, but I still have to wait a good 20 or 30 minutes for it to process. Um, and then yeah, I give it a title. I put the thumbnail together. I put the thumbnail on it. I write a description, put in the tags. I decide where the ads go. Yeah, for any of you who don't know, when you are watching a video that has mid-rolls, the creators of the video are the ones that put those mid-rolls in. So, like, if you see a video that has like 10 ads in it, then those people put 10 ads in their videos. I usually try to put 3 in, and I also try and space them. I like to keep them spread out throughout the video, because I mean 3 mid-rolls in a 15 or like 20-minute video isn't too bad. And I try and put it where it's not telling stories, so like right during my commentary, so that it doesn't like interrupt a story or anything. But anyways, then I put in the end screen, which a lot of people have been complaining that I shoot my cat videos in portrait mode, and the whole reason for that is because like when you're looking at the end screen, it shows like recommended videos and like subscribe to the channel, like it takes up the whole sides of the videos. So I like having the portrait mode right in the middle so that it doesn't get blocked up. But anyways, then I usually finish the video anywhere between midnight and 2 a.m. And then sometimes I have to fight with the monetization bot, because like sometimes it's just like this video is inappropriate, so it's demonetized, and so I'll like try and change the title. I'll try changing the thumbnail if I have to. Just changing things out until I can get it monetized. And then once I'm finally done, then I schedule it for 8 in the morning, and then I go to bed. I wake up at around 10 in the morning after the video's already been up for 2 hours, and then I just see how it's doing. There's already a bunch of comments, so every morning when I wake up, the first thing I do is just read the comments of my video that just went up. So it's a pretty nice way to wake up and start the day. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole process of the video making, which I will be doing again tonight. Oh, let's hope I still have a voice once I get to recording. Alright, hold on, let me go back and read all these questions. I don't want to miss anybody. For Halloween vids, have you ever thought reading through a story, like one story per view? I'm not sure what that's asking. Questions. Alright, sorry guys, I'm reading through the chat. I wasn't looking at the chat as I was rambling my whole video making process. How do you choose what to read? Believe it or not, I don't usually read the stories before I record them. So like I said, I go onto Reddit and I usually pull whatever. I mean, I wouldn't always say that I pull whatever is on top. Sometimes I will look at a story, I'll be like, that's too long, I don't want to read that, it takes up too much of my video. Or it's just like, this word has too many, or this story has too many bad words, or stuff that'll get me demonetized, too many controversial subjects and topics in it, and like anything revolving to like racism or politics or stuff like that. Whenever those are in stories, I'm like, I should probably just avoid those. I don't want it, I don't want to stir the pot around here. But yeah, it really just comes down to like if stories have TLDRs at the bottom, that can usually help. It's usually just based on like the upvotes, the upvote percentages on Reddit, and if they have awards and whatever's the topic is about. So if I log on and there's like a medium length story and it's got a bunch of awards, it's very highly upvoted, and the topic or like the title of it sounds like it could be interesting, then I'm like, all right, so I'll screenshot it. But like I said, I don't read the story first because I want to have a genuine reaction while I'm narrating it. Which means there have been quite a few times where like I'll screen cap a bunch of stories and then I'll be recording them, and then like halfway through recording a story, like narrating it, I'm just like, this is not a good story. And so I'll just stop reading it. Sometimes after reading the whole thing, sometimes like halfway through it, and I'll just stop and I'll be like, all right, I need to find something else. And then I'll go back onto Reddit while still recording and just pull something else. And there was one day, I don't know if you guys remember, a few weeks ago, I was trying to record a video, but like pretty much every single story I pulled, they were awful. And so like I was like, I don't even have a video now because I've deleted every single story that I pulled. So I just kind of gave up and was like, I'll try again tomorrow. So yeah, it's like not every story is great. Some are really boring, some are just awkward. Like some of them, like, I mean, it's kind of hard to decide what makes a good story, but what makes a bad story is like it'll be talking about. So like you guys know, it's all about like running into entitled parents. Most of my stories revolve around just, oh, I had an encounter with some really awful person. And like the ones where it's just like, I had an encounter with an awful person and then I left and that was it. Like those ones aren't really that fun. It's a lot more entertaining when it's like, I met this awful person and then they ended up paying for it. I screwed them over. Like those ones are a lot more exciting, I think. But yeah, anyways, reading stories, finding the stories, it can be a little more tricky than it looks. Have you ever been called a ginger? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really take much to be called something. So yeah, people call me Ginger plenty. Do you have another job? I recently just started a part-time job, just working at a haunted house because it's Halloween season. And I was like, it could be fun to enjoy the Halloween season, get out of the house, meet some people, do something. I mean, it's just a customer service job. It doesn't really pay that much, but yeah, it can be kind of fun, I guess. It's a nice environment. Yeah. I know. I feel like the music that I play in the background of my videos has become like, anytime any of you guys ever hear that music anywhere, you're gonna think of me now. Guitars. You guys want to see my guitars? By the way, don't feel bad if you're just like jumping into the live stream. This was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I've been thinking of doing this for couple weeks, but I've just never really found a good time for it. I mean, Sunday nights could be nice, because then I could be like, alright, I'll do funny videos Monday through Friday, and then a scary video like Saturday night, and then Sunday night I'll do a live stream. Like, I think that sounds like a pretty consistent schedule, and then I can make it a little bit more mixed up. Have you ever been to Colorado? Yeah, I live in Utah. I think I've only actually been over to Colorado once. 2 years ago, I drove over to Denver, or to Red Rock Amphitheater, to see Opeth. And that was the best concert I've ever been to. Do you ever come out to Grand Junction? I drove right through that while going to Denver. Pretty much slept in my car pretty close to that. Have I ever been to Chicago? Nope. As far as all of the states I've been to, so like I said, I live in Utah. I've been to California lots of times. I've been down to Southern California to go to, right around Anaheim mostly, but I've been there like probably 20 times. I've been to Nevada a handful of times. I like going to Las Vegas. It's about a 6-hour drive. I've been to Arizona once, just driving through it, because I just drove down to Mexico. I've driven up to Oregon like twice. I've been to Idaho. I used to go to Idaho as a kid quite a bit to see family, but I haven't been there in a while. I don't think I've been up in Washington. I think Portland was as far north as I ever went. And then I've been to Wyoming. So like pretty much just all the neighboring states around me, and then also I've flown to New York, Hawaii, and North Carolina in the past. That's pretty much all of them. A Halloween live stream, wear a costume? Hey, maybe I'll just start wearing costumes for my videos. How about that? I wish I had enough costumes to like wear a different one each time. Maybe I'll just start dressing up. Maybe I'll just go in drag. I'll start doing my videos in drag. How about that? Let's see. There's a lot of comments here. I'm trying to read through them all without being silent for too long. When you pull Reddit stories, do you only do the top rated ones or the ones that have gold or silver? Sometimes. Like, it's really in relation. It's kind of in relation to what else is on the board. So like, if there's a story with 1,000 upvotes on Entitled Parents, it's probably not like a top rated story. But if there's a story with 1,000 upvotes that's on, like, I don't know, Tales from the Pizza Guy, then it's probably a really good story. So, I mean, I'll usually take a look at a lot of the top ones. Usually it's like, I'm looking for 5 stories most days. 5 is my typical number. 5 stories plus the question. So I'll start at the top in the most popular, and I'll just keep going down until I get 5 stories. So sometimes like there's 5 stories pretty much just presented to me right at the top, and I'm done pretty quick. And then other times I keep scrolling down until I get to the less popular ones. Hey everybody! Yeah, we've got a pretty good turnout. We've reached pretty close to 100 people so far. What's the weirdest thing YouTube has recommended me? I don't know. I've been like all over YouTube, and I watch so much of it that it knows very strongly of what to recommend me, I think. So it usually doesn't deviate from that, other than just like the occasional viral videos. How do you do the scrolling through the story as opposed to using the screenshots? So yeah, when you use Adobe Premiere, I mean, I probably won't get like too technical with like teaching Premiere lessons right now, but you kind of do like I don't even know what it's called, but it's like a time lapse thing. So it's like at the start, have it at this position, and at the end have it this position, and between those two positions it moves. So you just have like the start position of, you put the screenshot of the story like at the bottom, and then at the end you have it where the whole thing is being revealed. So yeah, I would recommend just looking up Premiere, stuff like that. Alright, I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing any questions. If you posted a question like long ago and I've just clearly missed it, don't feel free to just post it again. I'll try to answer as many of these as possible. Have you ever thought of going out and meeting people and doing meet and greets? uh, I mean, it's not like there's that many people that I could really talk to. Um, I think that 1% of my entire audience, or probably less than 1%, is in Utah. So there's not a lot of people around me that I could really do a meet and greet for. But hey, like I said, I work at Fear Factory now, so maybe if you're really interested in coming to say hi, I'll let you know which night I'm over at Fear Factory, and maybe you could just come through and say hello. I'm usually just like out front working doing ticket stuff. Where are you? What's my weirdest nickname? I don't know. Some people call me Andy, which it's a little weird. Some people call me Drew. I usually just go by Andrew. The thing is, like, I always got called Drew by like aunts and uncles and grandparents and my parents. Like, everyone who was an adult who knew me as a kid, they would call me Drew. And those people still do call me Drew a lot of the time. But like everyone else calls me Andrew. So anytime I run into somebody who's not, one of those relatives who tries calling me Drew, I'm just like, well, that was weird. Why'd you call me that? That was more like a childhood nickname. Have I had any other kinds of pets? I grew up with a dog, and I really liked dogs. And then I moved out of my parents' house, and then that dog died. And then I got a cat. And now I have to protect my cat from two dogs that live upstairs. So, I mean, I technically live with two dogs and a cat, but I don't really like the dogs, honestly. Ever since living here has made me dislike dogs more and more. I wonder, stream options. Oh, I don't know that I'm gonna be able to archive this video once it's done. So everybody who's here, you're the ones that'll get to see it all. I don't know. Maybe that's for the best. What happens on this stream stays on this stream. Man, trying to actually do these streams makes me appreciate people who do streaming for a living. Like, I've been watching a ton of Asmongold for WoW Classic. He's probably like the biggest guy on Twitch right now. Yeah, he streams like 12 hours a day, just talking nonstop. I don't know. I don't know how anyone can have the voice for that. Is it weird that I'm 65 and watch this channel every day? No, not really. I don't think these stories are really directed towards any age group, honestly. My demographics are split just like very evenly across the board. Have I ever thought about modeling? I have a handsome face. Oh, thanks. I don't know. Not really. Modeling seems like a tough industry to really push yourself into. Unless you're just like supermodel. Okay, what stories should I pull today? Alright, I'm looking for a question. So you guys will get to see probably what question I choose for tomorrow's video. See, it's so like I said, looking for a question can be pretty tough. Because like Alright, I go on to Ask Reddit, and the very top one is, would you support a remake of Snakes on a Plane where a bunch of innocent snakes are flying to their holiday destinations when they realize that Samuel L. Jackson has snuck aboard and plans to kill them all one by one? Why or why not? So he's like, alright, that's kind of a silly question, and there's probably plenty of joke answers on it, but it doesn't make for good narration when I'm reading all the responses. Or, what's a question you hate when people ask you? Like, this one could be okay, but every single response is like a 1 or 2 line response, and that makes narrating things kind of annoying too, since it's just like I read one sentence and then I comment one sentence and then I read a sentence and then I comment on it, and it moves a little too quick. Airline staff members, what can we do to make your lives easier when traveling? And again, that's not really people telling stories, that's just people giving advice. If naming your child after a company came with a financial compensation, what would you name your kid? Again, it's just another hypothetical kind of thing. What's the worst I don't fit in here experience you've ever had? See, there's a question that I might actually go with, because it's actually people telling stories of experiences they've had. The next one. World War III started, and it was McDonald's fault. What did McDonald's do? Again, it's just another silly rhetorical question. So, let's see. What is the worst I don't fit in here experience? That could make for a good question. If I was trying to do a full video, I probably wouldn't, like a full question video, I probably wouldn't do this because it's only got 2K upvotes. While I don't really care about how many upvotes it has, that also just means that there's not going to be a lot of comments on it either. So if I'm going to make a full video, I'm going to need to pull a lot of responses to these. Whereas if it's just at the end of a story video, it can be a bunch of short little responses like this. So yeah, I might end up throwing this story or this question at the end of my story video for tomorrow. Alright, back to more questions. I just got into Harry Potter. What house are you in? Alright, if you're just getting into Harry Potter, I actually just watched all of the Harry Potter movies this week. You know, the whole 20-hour marathon across like 3 days. I don't know. I like Harry Potter. I'm not like a die-hard fan. I think that you would I feel like you kind of have to be a hardcore fan to say that you're in a house, so I don't know. Is this your only channel? It's not. No, it's definitely not my only channel. But I don't do other Reddit reading channels, so you probably hear another voice similar to mine. I've considered splitting off my scary stories into a second channel, because it's kind of weird having like half comedy, half horror, like on one channel. You know, the algorithm doesn't really know what to do with that very well, so it doesn't really want to recommend my horror videos too much. But like, yeah, I have a Guitar Hero channel, I have the job shadowing channel, which I don't know that I'll really pursue the job shadowing one much, at least not for a while. It's just too hard to find people to make videos about. Isn't it comforting that so many people are watching the live stream? Yeah, it's pretty great. I know it, like, since I used to get like 50,000 views a day, and now I can like barely get 10,000 a day, sometimes I'm like, man, I've lost all my viewers, nobody's watching. But then I'm like, well, I mean, 10,000 people, that's still a lot of people. And at least a few hundred of those are like pretty dedicated, awesome, like, you know, great fans that I'm happy to have. So yeah, I guess that if I did this live stream, I might like get close to 100. This is pretty much what I expected as far as the live stream goes. Hi from Montana. We got people all over. I'm pretty sure actually most of the viewers right now are just in the US, because everywhere else is pretty much nighttime. Have you ever thought about doing voice jobs? I don't know, it'd be cool to be a voice actor, but I don't know how I would get into that. Man, my screens are so big that anytime there's a white screen, it just like lights me up. Where it's like, if I minimize that window, I'll minimize that, I'll minimize that, I'll close that. So it's like everything that shows up on my screen is what lights me up. So then it's like, all right, pull up the YouTube screen again. It's all white. How long did it take me to grow out my hair? Uh, yeah, you should watch my Ask Me Anything video. I do like a whole collage comparison of all the pictures of me over the years. I pretty much started not cutting it in like 2013. What's my favorite Halloween tradition? You know, I wish I could have an answer for that. Honestly, I feel like watching Hocus Pocus kind of ruined Halloween for me, because it makes me feel like I'm supposed to have like this crazy Halloween adventure, and then Halloween rolls around and then I just sit at home and don't do anything. I mean, I'd love to, get dressed up and go out and do stuff, but I don't know. Whenever the occasion rolls around, I got nothing. At least I have YouTube and I can like do Halloween themed videos if I really want. Do you volunteer for? Is that a question? I don't see it anywhere. Been meaning to post in my subreddit. Uh, I haven't really looked in my subreddit for a while. I've even stopped including the subreddit in my descriptions lately because I'm like so bad at going back. So like I said with pulling stories, it's nice because I can just look at whatever's highly rated and I can pull whatever's on top without having to read through every single story to know what to read for the video. But when it came to my own subreddit, I'll log on and there'll be like 20 new stories, none of them upvoted or downvoted or anything, and I'm like, some of these are like 10 pages long, and like, I mean, I, no offense to anybody on there, but like sometimes I would read through the stories and I'd be like, all right, well, this, I mean, they, I appreciate that they wanted to share this, but I don't really know that I'd want to put it in the video. And so like I kind of felt bad that I was like giving people the option to post their stories and then I would just like never read them because it's just not active enough for a lot of it's not active enough for me to like completely rely on that, you know. Like r slash could easily just have rely completely on submitted stories because he's got like thousands and thousands of people who would submit and upvote and downvote, and so it's a lot easier to find the good ones. Splitting off the channel would take a lot of time for me on this part. Would I have time to do multiple channels? Well, I mean, if I'm already doing the one scary story a week, it wouldn't really slow me down at all, because like running multiple channels is only difficult because you're making a lot of videos for multiple channels. But if I'm only doing one scary video a week and then I just put that one scary video on the scary channel, then it would be okay. It would get then that channel could actually get recommended to people looking for scary things. What's the animal in the terrarium behind me? So I don't know if it's obvious, but like that thing right there, that's a mirror. That's just a mirror that goes on like the back side of that I just set against the couch right here. So like if you're seeing the lights in there, the lights from there are reflecting from the lights that are behind my my monitor. Hey, look, I have legs. Oh yeah, also I've got this window up here. This Guitar Hero box somehow fits just perfectly in the window, and since I usually record at night, you see it when the Guitar Hero box is in the window. Yep, fits right in. Okay. Where's Faye? Faye was here at the beginning of the stream. Now she's probably off taking a nap. Usually she only bugs me when I don't want her to, so. Okay, let's see. Yeah, thanks to everybody who's showed up for this live stream. I don't know how long I'll go. Maybe we'll just go to the end of the hour. That sounds like a good plan. Wear a Halloween costume. Oh, here comes Faye. Let's see if she'll actually jump on me. Come here. Come on. Meow. Faye. No, don't scratch my chair. There you go. Hey, the cat is here. Now my viewership will multiply 100 times. What's the poster above my desk? Oh, this thing? This picture right here? So, I don't know. I was looking for art once, and I found this pretty cool artist on Etsy, and I just bought like 4 of their pictures. And they are all that same size. I would switch them out. Like, I would swap out this one for whatever the other 3, but, let's just say they're a little bit, more not safe for work, kind of. Like, this is my least, edgy looking one. So it's a good background. And then, like, this poster right here, this is a BlizzCon 2009 poster. So I've been to 8 BlizzCons, and that was my very first one. And then the flag back here, this is kind of like a poster. It's just it's a band called The Faceless. It's a pretty cool like technical death metal band. Um, yeah, that's the Planetary Duality album cover for that one. Aw, Faye, are you gonna say hello? Here's your collar. See, every time I touch her, she has to like lick herself clean. Like she begs for scratches, and then I scratch her, and then she has to clean herself again. Oh, can we send Faye treats and toys? What would you want to send this spoiled kitty? Yeah, I have gotten offers for people who've wanted to mail me stuff. It's like I wouldn't really mind, I guess. I just haven't been sure if I've like ready to throw out my address or anything. I've always wanted to see the guitar in the background. Well, now that the cat's in my lap, it'll be kind of difficult, but she'll probably get tired of it soon and jump down. Do you play Mobile Legend? I don't play any mobile games, honestly. My phone, I have a phone. It is only used for phone purposes. Calling, texting, Facebook, email, taking pictures. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm on my computer all day, and it's basically just a better version of a phone. Have I been to a Comic Con before? Nope. Honestly, there's never been anything at a Comic Con that's interested me. It's weird because I've always considered myself like a nerd, and like I've been to BlizzCon lots of times because that's like strictly for Blizzard games. But like, I'm not really into superheroes. I'm not into like most TV series. So there's just never been anything at Comic Con that's really interested me enough that I'd want to go to it. As far as my fandom and nerdy stuff goes, it's like Blizzard games, and then just Guitar Hero, Tony Hawk. Those are, yeah, World of Warcraft, Guitar Hero, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Like those are probably my 3 top video games in my life, or like video game series, because all of them have pretty much been a lot of games. Get a PO box. Yeah, I've. That's cool. I know that I could go for a PO box. I think don't you have to pay for one of those? um, yeah, like I said, I don't really get mail that much. 6 cents. Man, I've seen way too many horror movies. I just watched the new Pet Cemetery the other day, where there's an evil cat. That's the kind of scary movie for Faye. You know, this is going to be the first year that I'm not going to BlizzCon since like 2011. It's kind of weird, but the date keeps getting pushed back further and further, well, closer and closer every year. So now it's like on Halloween or something. And I don't like that I have to miss Halloween to be on a road trip. You know, I like being around my own place. A Renaissance festival? I've never. No, I don't think I've been to anything like that either. I don't really go to events of any kind, really. I mean, I go to the occasional concert, but even then I haven't done that for a few months. I mean, it took me a long time to realize, but I just don't really like concerts that much. Funny enough, like I'm into tons of bands, I listen to music a lot, I play my own instruments, and I used to go to concerts a lot, and then I'd just be like, these aren't even that fun, why do I still come to them? Yeah, I'll be watching BlizzCon, the virtual ticket probably. If that. I might just watch the opening ceremony, that's where all the good stuff happens. Like, do you guys remember the meme that was spreading around the internet last year that was like, do you guys not have phones? Like, I was there for that. I was at BlizzCon. I mean, I wasn't in the hall, I didn't see it live, I wasn't at the Diablo panel at the time, but I definitely saw that afterwards. A rock and mineral show. That would be interesting. Never seen the Changeling. I don't. Possibly. Like I said, I've seen so many. Here, I'll post the list again. Here's a list of all of the every horror movie that I've seen again. So I'll post that in the chat. That's all of the horror movies that I've ever watched. I've kept track of them. Actually, I haven't added the new Pet Cemetery onto there, but you get a lot of mayo. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll try it out. Faye looks up. All right, Faye, you want some pets? Yeah, you're a big baby. You're my Faby. Are you gonna be in a video tonight, or are you just here for the live stream? There's lots of talking going on. With those scary story videos that I did, I recorded all of that all at once. So both of those videos ended up being like 21 or 22 minutes, but they took forever to record for whatever reason. Each one took about 50 minutes of recording, so like pretty close to an hour each. And then yeah, I then editing them down, trying to find scary background noises, which I don't think the background music I had on that was particularly great, but it turned out okay. I don't know. The nice thing about uploading videos every single day is that if I have a video that doesn't go so well, or like I didn't feel too proud of, I'm just like, whatever. I've got another one tomorrow anyway, so we'll just try and do better next time. I don't dwell on any single video too long. Usually my favorite videos I've done for this channel are like the oddball ones, you know, like the Faye montage video, or like the firework video. That firework video I've watched a lot of times. I really enjoyed that one. Or the Ask Me Anything. As far as the story videos, like most of them I've never even watched start to finish. Like I see them all so much while editing them and putting it all together that I at the end I don't even bother like going through and watching it start to finish. Oh, kitty. Faye is so needy. Yeah, it's kind of funny. So, like, around February of 2017, so 2.5 years ago, I was just feeling like, I kind of want to get a cat. For whatever reason, I don't know where the thought came from, but I started to kind of like cats at the time, and I was like, for the first time pretty much ever, I'm in a position where I'm like living in a place where I could just go get my own pet. And so I went over to an animal shelter that's just like 2 miles from me, and I went in there, looked at all the cats. They had like 50 cats just walking around, and I kind of had in mind I wanted a tabby, like the brown and black stripe kind of colored cat. And I was looking at all the tabby cats, and I, I, for whatever reason, I also just wanted a girl cat. And I saw this one sleeping in the corner. She was a white tabby, and they're like, yeah, that one's named Snickerdoodle. And she was just really chill. She was just sleeping over in the corner. And they're like, yeah, she's been here for 9 months. She's been here one of the longest we've had. And I was like, huh, I like her. So I just was petting her, and she was liking it. And so I was like, yeah, I'll take this one home. And then I took her, I brought her home, and she was meowing the whole way home. She was meowing from her box the whole way. She was terrified. She was leaving the shelter. And then she got here, and she was just exploring the place. It's always fun when you bring a pet home for the first time, and you get to watch them like explore your house. And then I gave her a collar and started buying her food and try and learn what they like and what they don't like. Yeah, she definitely prefers wet food, but so she has bowls of dry food that I just keep stocked all the time, so she can eat dry food whenever she wants. And then I give her 1 can of wet food every morning. She wakes me up like 6 a.m. After I just went to bed at 2. So at 6 a.m. She wakes me up every day. So I get up. I practically sleepwalk over to her cat food, and I open a can, and then I go back to bed. And then there's so many different flavors of cat food, and I've found that she's like really picky about some, because there's some times where she just will not eat it, or she'll eat maybe half of the can in the whole day, and then halfway through the day she's just like, give me more, I don't like that kind, give me another one. And I'm like, no, Kitty, that's a bad kitty. She's good. She's just really picky sometimes. Like right now, she's got 5 types of food sitting in her food room, and in the laundry room, and she'll still whine that she wants another different kind. But then sometimes she'll just scarf the whole thing down in a couple hours. Female cats are more possessive of their people. Yeah, I mean, I could believe it. Man, I don't know what goes on with her. So she used to just spend hours every single day going outside and just exploring the neighborhood. But now she's much more reluctant to ever go outside. Sometimes she still wants to. Sometimes she'll only go outside if I go out with her. But I think she got into fights with other cats around the neighborhood, and now she's scared to go out wandering. I went outside with her once, and I was just standing out on the sidewalk with her, and this neighbor cat started coming towards us. But then once the cat saw me, it turned around and ran off. So yeah, Faye, I think she has some enemies. Also, there's I have a cat door for her, so I'm in the basement, but I have windows up high, and one of the windows has a cat door, so she can go in and out whenever she wants. But there have been a few times where a neighbor cat has wandered in through the cat door, usually in the middle of the night, and I just get woken up to the cats fighting, just screaming at each other, just making horrible noises. And it's really weird to wake up to that, to be honest. And I'd go running in the other room, and Faye already scared them off, and I just see their butt as they go back out the door. So yeah, those nights aren't the most fun. Scariest films. A 24-toe cat. Wow, so 6 toes on each foot. Oh yeah, sorry. See, I'm used to like when I'm when I'm recording for videos, I can just like belch or like cough or clear my throat, do whatever I want because I'm like whatever. I'll end up cutting that by the time it goes up. But with a live stream, I'm just like, oh man, I can't I can't go all out. I can't speak my mind as much as I want sometimes. Not that there's like anything to go after right now. But yeah, my throat's starting to get a little bit tired, and I've got to get recording my next video soon. Oh yeah, here I'll show you guys some of my guitars and stuff. So this is my 7-string. Yeah, I play different stuff on the 7-string than I do with the 6-string because yeah, they're in different tunings and stuff. You probably won't really be able to hear anything from this. It's been too long since I've learned. You know, for a while I played I played a lot of guitar for like the first year that I had it, and I got kind of decent. Like by now, it's not that my skills have really gone away. It's more so I just forgotten any songs that I used to play. So like I'll pick up a guitar and I'm just like, I'm blank. I don't really know what to play. I mean, I hope you guys are doing something else while watching this. I hope nobody's just like sitting there focusing on their screen watching me diddle around on a guitar. Do I have an acoustic guitar? No. I kind of would. Well, it would be kind of fun to play on one, but I don't really play guitar enough anymore to want to put any more money into it right now. Is that Bayonetta? Who that? I don't think this is really a character. Honestly, it's just like there were a bunch of cool art pieces that this guy was doing, so I was like, I'll buy some of the cooler ones. So yeah, as far as what you guys see, there's like this cool piece of art, and then there's BlizzCon, and then there's the Faceless. So it's like cool band, video games, just a random piece of art, and then the guitars and stuff. Let me turn the camera so you can see a few more things in the room. Yeah, so there's the 6-string black guitar, and then the 5-string bass. And then there's another BlizzCon poster, and another BlizzCon poster, and another BlizzCon poster. There's all my junk food over there. It looks like a 12-year-old sleepover. Then like so I recently had to buy a new guitar. Or not a guitar. I recently had to buy a new vacuum because the insane amount of hair from both me and the cat pretty much destroyed my last vacuum. So yeah, I bought a new vacuum, and that's the box over there. And Faye likes to treat it like a fort. So she likes to run in there and just hide and then pounce on whatever might come across. But Yeah, most of my room is like I've got my computer taking up a huge chunk over here because I use TVs for monitors. So like I got a 50-inch monitor right here in front of me, and then a 40-inch right there. So that's why it's like so bright on me. And if I minimize this, then my it looks a lot darker. Ah, here, let me put this back. Dang it. Ah. Well, this has been a lot of fun. Do we have any more questions before we turn off the stream? Do I like jazz? It's okay. Like, I don't really listen to it at all, but if it's like on Guitar Hero, I'll play it. Only two chairs. So really, it's like Faye takes this chair half the time when I get up, and so like if I come back, like if I get up and go to the bathroom, I come back and Faye's jumped on my chair and she's just sleeping on it. I'm like, Faye, I need my chair. So I'll usually just slide this chair out because she gets mad when I try and pick her up, and then I'll just sit on this chair instead. It's almost as nice, but it gets a lot more scratched up because it's leather, so there's a lot of claw marks all over it. Alright, there's a bunch more questions. Would you do more live streams? Yeah, probably. I mean, I could probably do like 1 hour live streams every Sunday, maybe. Do you like Dragon Ball? Never really watched it. Are you single? Yes. Yes, basically. I mean, there is one girl that I hang out with pretty regularly, and we do pretty much everything that a couple would, but we're not like stuck with each other, I guess you could say. We're basically, I'm still looking for an actual girlfriend. Do you like old time rock and roll? Not really. I mean, I like some classic rock like Pink Floyd and Queen and The Doors, but stuff like Aerosmith and AC/DC, I don't like anything like that. Are you a disappointment like me? Depends on the day. Do you ride a motorcycle? You know, for a while I actually wanted to get a motorcycle. I don't know why. Like, ever since then, I don't really have any intention of getting a motorcycle. Because, like, when I drive somewhere, I like just being able to zone out. Driving's easy. You can just sit in a car and get to where you need to go, listen to music. I think motorcycles add a lot of hassle to that. I mean, I ride a bike a lot. I like to just go biking or bike places. A lot of people asking if I ever went to college, like, or like what my education is. So like, for the few years after I graduated high school, I would take like, you know, it's really complicated to actually know what, like they don't tell you exactly what you need to finish it. At least I never figured it out, like what you needed to graduate. So I was just, I didn't know what I was supposed to take. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll just sign up for a bunch of these classes that seem essential. And so I took like, I don't know, an economics class and a history class and a computer class, and like, I mean, I took a decent amount, but it seemed like it was never really in any clear direction. It seemed like I was just going, just, I don't know, to please my parents, or, you know, expecting something to come out of it. So eventually I was like, why, this is kind of just a waste of money, and I wasn't even like trying that hard either, so I wasn't doing very well. So I kind of just stopped signing up for classes, and then I've just been looking for other ways to form a career. I mean, YouTube can be a really good career if you really work towards it. It can be really difficult though. You spend a whole day doing nothing but then complain at night. uh, eh, I don't always do nothing all day. Sometimes I leave the house. And I don't always complain. What's your favorite character on WoW? World of Warcraft has changed so much over the years. Um, I've pretty much changed the characters that I play with every expansion. So it was like, for a classic through Wrath of the Lich King, I was a dwarf priest, because my cousin told me to make that. And then it was like I quit, and then I came back for Cataclysm with a Tauren druid, and then uh, and then like in Mists of Pandaria, I played on my Draenei shaman and my human warlock, and then in Warlords of Draenor, I switched to like a night elf hunter and then a human mage, and then I switched over to a death knight for Legion, and then I was back to druid for like druid and warrior for BFA. So I mean, like I've mained almost everything at some point. I usually just have like a max level character of every class. Right now, I've just been playing WoW Classic as a human warlock. Do I live with my parents? No, I actually don't live with my parents. I've moved quite a bit. I haven't lived with my parents in like 4 years. So like when I was 18, I moved out of my parents' house and in with my uncle, my uncle Nate. And so I lived with Nate for a year, and then I moved out of Nate's house into my grandparents' house, and then I lived with them for a while, and then from there I moved to this like beat up old house with a couple of roommates, which was the first time I was like, not under anybody, so that was a lot of fun, even though the place was, I mean, pretty much like unlivable. And then at one point I had to like move back with my parents, so I lived with my parents for, I don't know, 6 months. This was in like 2015, 2016, and then I moved in with a different uncle, which I was there for like 8 months until I found this place, and I've been here for almost 3 years. I've got like a roommate, I guess two roommates, because his girlfriend moved in with him, so two roommates and two dogs upstairs, and then I'm just renting this basement. So I've got a pretty large space all to myself where I can make lots of noise. Okay, people asking one weird fact about me. Man, you guys aren't ready for that. 10:39 and I'm still streaming. It's only 8:43 for me. Plus, I'm usually awake till 2 or 3 a.m. Like, I won't be finishing my video till past midnight, and then I'll schedule it for 8 a.m. So I guess, like, since I have a lot of viewers around the US, you're probably seeing my video go up anywhere between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. It's 8 a.m. for me, and then I wake up at 10 a.m., and then I see how well it's doing. Did you ever play OG Ragnarok? Nope, never did. Could you tell me how to get a Minecraft girlfriend? Girls don't play Minecraft. Do you like EverQuest? No. Meow. Faye, do you want to ask a question? You seem incredibly smart about subjects no one else has. The YouTube algorithm is a very complex thing, and there's a lot of parts to it. Because there's certain things about like getting you recommended to people, and then there's like the algorithms for monetization. I think that I'm more of an expert in the monetization part, because I have to deal with that crap like on a daily basis. Like if I was an expert on the algorithm, I'd probably have more than 10,000 views a day. Oh, see, Faye is annoyed. She wants me to go to bed and cuddle with her. Oh, I'm sorry. Stupid human trick. Now everybody's telling what time zone it's in. I'm surprised there are this many people that have been interested enough to like keep watching it. I feel like I'm just kind of rambling. I'm not good at keeping it interesting. Alright, you guys want your one weird fact? Do I have to watch the entire ad in the video, or can I skip it halfway? I don't really know that much about ads. I hear from a lot of people that you have to watch the whole thing to actually like give credit, but I mean, if you want to skip it, I'm not. I won't hold it against you. I get it. It's no fun when you have like a 3-minute ad pop up in the middle of your video. Where would you go if you could? To bed. Yeah, I wouldn't mind just going to bed. My favorite animal is a fae. Alright, we're coming up on... let's go for about 10 more minutes. Anything else you guys want to throw out there? Yeah, some of you guys have been here a while. Faye, look at the camera. Do I have any other cats? No, I wish. Faye would be so mad if I tried to get another cat. She's very possessive. Do I go by Andy or Drew? Nah, just Andrew. I think it's funny, like ever since I mentioned my name was Andrew in my Ask Me Anything video, there's a lot of people that just like can't resist putting my name in all of their comments. They're just like, hey Andrew, like great video. Say hello to Faye. It's funny because like before I ever showed my face, I kept mentioning I had a cat. No one ever cared until I showed my face though. Faye, you want a better look? It was crazy. Like the day I showed my face, like I wasn't really expecting that much, but I got like 600 comments in like 2 days. Everyone seemed very surprised. You seem down lately. Well, you know, that's kind of the downside of uploading every day. I mean, it's hard to be in a good mood every single day. So, like, since I'm like, sometimes I really just have to force myself to make a video. Or it's like sometimes they don't turn out so great because of it. But, I mean, just because you're having a bad day doesn't necessarily mean you should take a day off work. But, I mean, I'm still pretty good at, like, just, keeping my mood up while I'm telling the stories. Like, I can really just snap in and out of, like, being charismatic when I start, recording. Faye is sleeping in the weirdest way right now. I'm holding her paws in my hand, and she's got her head buried in them. Ever consider working in the audiobook industry? I don't. Like I said, I feel like jobs where all you have to do is use your voice, they seem like a really hard industry to get into. It's like, because it's a job that so many people could do, and I don't think my voice is like that great enough for doing like audiobooks and narration stuff. Plus, it's kind of nice that this is just kind of like my own business. How much does Faye weigh? The last time I weighed her was at the vet, like 2 years ago. I don't think she's changed much. They said I think she was like 14 pounds. I mean, she's kind of big. Oh boy, my dad's in the chat now too. He's throwing his input in here. Do I know any other languages? Um, I mean, I learned a little bit of German as a teenager because yeah, I listened to a lot of Rammstein. Um, but yeah, not too much. Man, now my view, man, people are starting to start watching again. We're back over 90. Yeah, yeah, you guys have probably noticed my dad in the comments sometimes. Like the other day when I mentioned the high heels thing, uh, and a lot of the comments were like, "I'm laughing thinking about Andrew trying to wear high heels," and my dad commented saying, "It's really not that pretty." Yeah, I know it's easy to think that I live with my parents because I'm just like sitting down here in the basement. It is kind of weird because there is like a couple just upstairs, and I would they're like in their 30s, but I don't really see them as like parents because they're not my parents. Man, this is just getting weird now. Doing any more Reddit videos? Yeah, I'll have a Reddit video up tomorrow, like usual. What breed is my cute little kitty? I mean, what different cat breeds are there? I mean, is the breed just like what color they are? Because I mean, there's like white cats and the orange cats and the tabby cats and black cats. Or is it like short-haired cat or long-haired cat? Is that the breeds? Because I mean, if that's the breed, I think they just marked her as a short-haired cat. She's a short-haired white tabby house cat. I don't know what else there is to it. You want to know how to make Faye go crazy? If I scratch her butt back here, I can't tell if she likes it or not, but she gets quite the reaction out of it. If I scratch like right around her tail. Ooh, what's going on? Do you like that? It's like she starts purring, but then she also like freaks out and runs away. Alright, I guess she didn't like that very much. If I consider dyeing my hair, if I could just dye my hair and then go right back to red, I probably would do it, but I don't like how permanent it is. I like having red hair. I like, the uniqueness of it. I mean, it's like kind of brownish, reddish, depending on the lighting. I mean, I believe it or not, last night in my dream I had blonde hair. So, I mean, it would be cool to have blonde at some point. American short hair. Man, this chat is just getting weird now. uh, Faye tamed me. And Faye is splooting on the ground again. See, like this is just how she likes to hang out on the floor. She just has her back legs just propping herself up. I don't know why or how she does that. Okay. Well, I'm getting close to turning off the stream now. My voice is going out, and I gotta go to the bathroom, and I gotta make my video tonight. With that much candy, you know how I stay skinny with this much candy? I just don't eat it very much. So I had a friend who was like pretty much homeless the other day, and so I had them come live in my guest room for a few days. And I'm like, I don't know how to feed you, so let's go to Walmart and just pick up a whole bunch of snacks. So we bought like a ton of snacks, and then they left like 2 days later. And I'm like, well, I guess I have a whole bunch of snacks and a bunch of candy and granola bars. And yeah, and so I mean, it takes me forever to get through this stuff. People see that I have all this junk food and they're like, man, you eat a lot of crap. And I'm like, well, it'll take me like months to get through this. But yeah, thanks to everybody who came out to the first live stream. It was a little more intense than I expected. I thought I'd be able to just do my job while streaming, but the chat was very active. So, yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. Now both of my parents are in the chat. Now it's getting really weird. We got almost 100 people here. Well, this was quite a bit of fun. Look out for my video tomorrow morning. I don't know what it's going to be on. Just more stories. I don't, like, as of right now, I have no idea. Whatever ends up in the video is as big a surprise to me as it is to you. Oh man, everybody's watching. Okay. Alright, this is good enough. Now I'm starting to recognize too many people in this chat. You're probably older than my parents. My parents are super young. I'm 25. My dad's like 42. I'm wondering if I like... Man, I don't even need to do anything. The whole chat is going off without me. I can't even keep up. I mean, to be fair, I look pretty young. Some people still think I'm a teenager, which I'm wondering what I could do with that kind of power. Oh man. Man, no more of this. Alright. I hope that when I hit the end stream button that you guys will still see to the end, but hopefully it's not too far back. First time you've caught me live. This is the first time I've ever been live. This is the first time. Actually, I used to do a couple live streams on my Guitar Hero channel. This is just the first one I've done for this channel. Alright, good night everybody. Hope you guys are still around and watch my videos tomorrow. My video tomorrow. Man, chat is more active now than it's been this whole stream. Okay, that's the end. See ya.